Yesterday I made a video about coding these fobs into a Rover or an MG with a Pektron alarm system. So before the video we only had one working fob, and now we have two. However, when you watch the video you will see that things didn't go completely according to plan. So I've decided just to show the video as it is. So these fobs can only be coded in once, and it seems wasteful to keep using up codes and fobs to program them in just to get a good video. And also it might be that you have a go as well and you hit the same problems, and so to see how we solve those problems might be useful. So this brings out a number of points. To code in a fob on a Pektron Rover or MG, there's a number of conditions that you have to meet. First of all, the fob has to be brand new, unused, and it must come with a 22-digit matching code. So the point is that you need to buy your fob from a reputable supplier who's going to give you an unused fob with a matching code. The only reputable supplier that I know is Paul from TechnoZen. So I would really encourage you to get your fobs from him. And also, if you do buy a fob from him and you run into problems, then you can send off your Pektron unit with your fobs and he will be able to sort you out. There's no other seller of the fobs that can do that. So other things to consider. In order to code in a fob on one of these cars, the immobilizer has to be already disarmed. On the early cars like this, 2003 into 2004, you can code in a fob just using the EKA code, which you will see in the video, which is how you enter a code just using the key in the door. So on an early Pektron unit you need either the EKA or one working fob. The later models, which is like this one, which ends part number 541, so from 2004 onwards, you could no longer code in new fobs using just the EKA. You need one working fob. So if you have a later Pektron car with only one working fob, you really need to get a second one, because if the first one packs up or gets lost or breaks, you will not be able to code in a second fob. You're going to have to send it off to Paul to have it coded in. So when you watch the video you're going to see a number of problems that we had. The problem that I had with this fob, which was an eBay unused one, was that the battery was flat. I had checked the battery using a voltmeter and it all looked good. I even had a new battery but I couldn't find it, so I just thought I'll just go with it. But it didn't work. And you will see in the video how I recovered from that. The other thing you'll see in the video is that I tried to test the fob to make sure it locks and unlocks the car, but actually the diagnostic session is still active, the Pektron unit is still in learning mode, and all that happens is that the horn sounds as I press the buttons, and you see that when I quit out of the session that then it works. So there's a few mistakes in there, but I thought you would like to see it as it was, and hopefully that will be helpful to somebody who wants to code in fobs on one of these Pektron cars. Here we have a Rover 25 with a Pektron alarm system, and what I'm going to do today, I'm going to use a P-scan diagnostic tool to code in a new fob. Before we do that we need to know that the emergency override code works. That's important because if anything goes wrong coding in the fobs, we'll need to be able to use the emergency override code to log the computer back in or to move the car. The emergency override code for this car is 3456, so I will show you how to enter that. So you put the key in, first digits to the left, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then unlock. Now we have to wait for 5 minutes before we try and start the car, so I'm going to set a timer. And in 5 minutes we can see if that code has worked. So now our 5 minutes is up. We'll see if we've entered the code correctly. So just unlock the car. And there we are. So this is the old fob that already works on the car. This is the new one. And this is the 22-digit code for this new fob. All 22-digit codes start with an O or an N. So on P-scan, first thing is to log into the Pektron unit. Right, bottom item on the menu, fob programming. We have to follow the sequence, read the instructions, test the horn, initialize existing fobs. So we press it again. So for each existing fob, we have to press unlock and lock until the horn sounds. Once the hob has sounded, we can add a new fob. So now we need to type in this code. So after 21 digits, the diagnostic computer generates the 22nd, and we need to make sure it's the same, which it is. So that's been accepted, and we have to press program. Now we see if this new fob works. So it seems that this fob had a bad battery in it, despite checking out on a voltmeter when we put it into the other fob, it didn't work. So now we have two good batteries. We shall see if we can synchronize this. So because we've already entered the 22-digit code, there's no need to enter that again. But because the battery was dead in the fob, it might now work if we resynchronize it. So we go into alarm, Pektron, fob programming, and this time we're just going to run the initialization process. Right. So that's the first one done. That's the new fob programmed in. So that's it. Now we should be able to lock and unlock the car with this new fob.